If you're a busy mom like me, then dinner time can feel like a total scramble between juggling kids, work, and a mountain of dirty dishes. After a lot of trial and error, I've discovered the perfect solution: one-pot meals that are quick, flavorful, and require minimal cleanup. Today, I'm sharing 3 family-friendly one-pot meals that are delicious and will save you time, stress, and leave you with just one dish to wash. Stick around. I promise these are going to save you time and sanity. Hey, what's up? I'm Andrea, and in today's video, I'm talking about 3 one-pot dinners for busy moms. If you're new here on my channel, I talk about time-saving meal ideas for busy moms. So if that sounds cool to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. And don't forget to share this video with a fellow mom who might need some dinner inspiration. All right, let's dive in.
So our first one-pot dinner is a white chicken chili. So I've put about a tablespoon of olive oil here in this Dutch oven and heated it to medium heat. And now I've got 1.5 pounds of chicken breast that I'm gonna sear on both sides. So I'm also putting the onion in the pot with the chicken so it can be sauteing at the same time. And because we're all about saving time here on this channel. So anyway, so it takes about 3 to 5 minutes per side. My timer's gone off. I'm gonna go ahead and flip those chicken breasts. You see how it's nice and golden brown? That's the kind of sear you're looking for. So I'm gonna flip those chicken breasts and I'm gonna kind of stir the onions at the same time around the chicken breasts. I'm not gonna put the garlic in yet because garlic actually burns pretty easily. So I'm setting the timer for 5 minutes to sear that second side. Okay, now that the chicken is nice and seared, I'm removing it to a cutting board and I'm gonna cut that up in just a minute. But first, I'm gonna take 2 garlic cloves that I've minced and I'm going to just pop them in there with the onions because again, garlic burns a lot faster. So you wanna kind of put that in later in the cooking process. I'm also adding my spices at this time. So I'm adding a tablespoon of dried oregano, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, and a little bit of cayenne pepper just for a little bit of heat. And I'm gonna stir that up with the onions and garlic so that they get nice and coated. Next, I'm going in with 2 cans of diced green chilies. I'm going with mild chilies here to keep it relatively mild, but we wanna get some liquid into that pan because it's starting to get a little dry. So I've got my 2 cans of green chilies. Now I'm adding 3 cans of cannellini beans that I have rinsed and drained, and then I'm gonna stir it really well to make sure that the beans get nice and incorporated with those spices and green chilies. And once I've got everything nice and mixed up, I'm gonna add 5 cups of bone broth to the mixture. Now I'm using a homemade bone broth here because it adds a really nice depth of flavor. I actually did a video tutorial on how to make delicious bone broth at home, which I can link in the description below, but go ahead and use box broth if that's all you have. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix that up, and then I'm going to turn back to my cutting board and I'm gonna take that chicken that we took out of the pan and I'm going to cut it into bite-sized pieces. Now you might notice that the chicken is not necessarily cooked all the way through. It's okay if it's a little pink in the middle because we're gonna be putting it back into the stew and it's going to simmer with the soup. So it's gonna get cooked all the way through. So I'm just cutting it up into some nice bite-sized chunks. Then I'm going to put it back into the pot and I'm gonna get the whole mixture up to a simmer and I'm going to cook it until the chicken is cooked all the way through about 30 to 45 minutes. And there you have it. White chicken chili. It's warm, it's comforting, it's got just a little bit of heat, but not so much that the kids find it overpowering. You can garnish it with some fresh cilantro, and it is one delicious one-dish meal. Next up, we have a sheet pan roasted veggie and sausage meal. I adapted this from Healthy Mama Chris. She is an amazing resource for busy moms. I will link to the recipe in the show description, but begin with 10 ounces of Brussels sprouts that are halved, and then 4 cups of cauliflower florets. So I bought some pre-cut cauliflower florets because again, we're about saving time here. And then I'm just taking the bigger pieces and breaking them up into smaller pieces. When you're doing sheet pan meals, you want to try to make the pieces about as close to the same size as possible so that they will cook evenly. To that, I'm gonna add 1 sweet potato that I have diced and 1 package of chicken sausages that have been sliced nice and thin. Next up, I am going to drizzle 2 tablespoons of olive oil all over the veggies and sausages, and I'm going to season it with a pinch of sea salt and a liberal amount of garlic powder. And then I'm going to toss the veggies together and try to get them coated as evenly as possible with that olive oil mixture. Now I'm going to put the whole thing in the oven at 400 degrees and set a timer for 25 minutes. This next step is optional and it does mean an extra dish to wash, but if you're up for it, it adds a lot of flavor. So take 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 2 minced cloves of garlic and 1 tablespoon of fresh rosemary. And then I'm just gonna toss that fresh olive oil over the veggies and get those garlic cloves throughout the dish. And then I'm going to put it back into the oven for about another 15 or 20 minutes. And there you have it, a 1-dish meal that is packed with seasonal veggies. It's got a nice pop of protein from the sausages, and it is so simple to make. For our last 1-dish meal, we have an enchilada chili that we're gonna do in the slow cooker. So begin with, you're gonna need about 1 pound of shredded chicken. I'm shredding a rotisserie chicken, but you can use any leftover chicken you have. Next, you need 1 diced onion, 1 large bell pepper diced. You can use any color here, but I would use a red, orange, or yellow one because we're looking for a sweet pepper. 1 diced tomato and 1 cup of diced sweet potatoes. Once you've got all those ingredients into a slow cooker, you want to add 1 cup of corn. You can use frozen or canned. 1 can of black beans that's been drained, and 1 packet of taco seasoning. Now, you can totally make your own taco seasoning at home, and I have done that at times, but we're in a really busy season of life, and in busy seasons, it's totally okay to buy back some of your time by purchasing the packet of taco seasoning. So I'm gonna sprinkle that taco seasoning over that, and then I'm gonna pour 3 cups of chicken broth into the crock pot. Then I'm gonna give it a nice stir to make sure it's all mixed up. Put the lid on, set the crock pot for 8 hours on low. I cannot tell you how good it feels. So for example, the day I made this, my daughter had a horse show and we were out of the house all day. I can't tell you how awesome it feels to come home after a busy day of being out and about doing activities and to know that dinner is done.
So there you have it, 3 one-pot dinners that will save you time, energy, and dishes, and all while leaving your family full and happy. I hope these flavorful meals make your week just a little bit simpler. If you try any of them, let me know how it goes down in the comments below. I'd love to know what works for you and your family. If you enjoyed this video, there is another one coming up right after it. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next week with a brand new video. Until then, I'm Andrea. Happy cooking and minimal cleaning. Bye for now.